Hey, and welcome everybody to NBA Got Game TV. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 NBA super duos, or let's call them 1-2 punches, that got broken up way too early because of ego problems. Just to be clear, we're not saying that these picks weren't successful, but they could have been way more successful if they would have stayed together and worked it out. So let's get it started. At number 5, Allen Iverson and Jerry Stackhouse. In the mid-90s, the Philadelphia 76ers went through a very dry period in no man's land. Gone were the days of having a Dr. J, a Moses Malone, or Charles Barkley. So in 1996, with the draft of Jerry Stackhouse, it finally looked like the Philadelphia 76ers had a franchise player in the making, averaging almost 20 points per game in his rookie season. Jerry was the player that the 76ers wanted to build a team around. So in 1997, just 1 year later, the 76ers ended up with the number 1 draft pick and selected Allen Iverson, who was listed at a point guard back then. Already in his rookie season, Iverson and Stackhouse clashed many times. In Stackhouse's opinion, Iverson took way too many shots and talked way too much for a rookie. Iverson never willing to back down, challenging Stackhouse many times in front of their teammates, which ended up in a fist fight. The 76ers, finally realizing that Iverson was a shooting guard, traded Stackhouse in the following season to the Detroit Pistons.
The number of times in his pro career that Jerry Stackhouse got into a fist fight with a teammate was?
Man, it might have been 5 times.
At number 4, Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. When Vince Carter arrived in Toronto, it finally put the Raptors on the map. The high-flying sensation from North Carolina not only elevated Toronto's game to the next level, it also helped the Raptors to be taken seriously in the future. When Vince's younger cousin Tracy McGrady got drafted directly from high school, the future seemed to be set for many years to come. While Vince already emerged as a superstar in his second season, Tracy was struggling getting minutes from his coach Butch Carter. After Tracy's minutes increased by his third year, he scored 15 points and showed that he soon would become a superstar by himself. The future looked really bright for the Toronto Raptors. But in the year 2000, everything changed. Tracy was a free agent and felt he needed his own spotlight, and he didn't want to share it with Vince anymore. McGrady signed with the Orlando Magic, leaving Vince by himself, who couldn't believe what happened. In an interview, Carter said,
"It hurt a little bit, but that's the way it goes, and I slept on it. It's over with now. But definitely, it's tough to swallow. I guess when they think they feel one way, and when they leave, here comes the truth, I guess."
I didn't get as much as playing time as he did. It was Vince Carter's show.
I'm not going to get caught up in that. And I don't want it to seem like it's a battle. It's a he said, he said, and all that kind of stuff. It's not necessary, and maybe that's what they want, but I'm not going to do that.
At number 3, Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal. When Shaquille O'Neal arrived at the NBA in 1992, he was an absolute phenomenon, taking the league by storm. The Orlando Magic finished their third season with a 41-41 record. In the summer of 1992, Shaquille met Penny Hardaway on the shoot of the basketball movie Blue Chips. O'Neal was absolutely stunned by how good Penny Hardaway could play. While shooting the movies, all players were allowed to play for real, and Shaq getting one pass after the other, which convinced Shaq to call the office of the Orlando Magic and advising them to pick Penny Hardaway in the draft. After trading for Penny Hardaway in the following draft in exchange for Chris Webber, it finally looked like Shaq got this perfect point guard. The upcoming Magic made it to the finals in 1995. While Penny got better and better, the media kept on asking, who's the go-to guy of the Magic? Whose team is it? Penny got more and more attention, more and more commercials. This resulted in conflicts between Penny and Shaq, resulting in Shaq leaving to the Los Angeles Lakers. At the end of their career, both players reflected and said they wish they would have handled it differently.
How did you feel about Shaq in the years right after he left? Because I think at one point he called Orlando a dried up little pond, right?
Well, I was hurt because I knew that when he had left that it was downhill for us, because you can't lose a guy of that magnitude. Shaq was, to me, the best big man in the NBA. And to lose him, I knew that it was going to end my title run to try to get a ring, and that he was going to go on to bigger and better things in LA.
At number 2, Kevin Garnett and Stephon Marbury. After spending many years in NBA no man's land, the Minnesota Timberwolves gambled on a young high school kid named Kevin Garnett. In a time where not many high school players made it directly to the NBA, Kevin Garnett seemed to be the steal of the draft, being only 19 years old but averaging 10 points and 6 boards in his rookie season. The Timberwolves were looking for the perfect fit for the perfect point guard to complement Kevin's style of play. In the 1997 draft, they finally found the missing piece that they were looking for. 19-year-old Stephon Marbury exploded onto the NBA courts and formed a dynamic duo with Kevin Garnett right away. KG and Marbury were Stockton Malone 2.0. But after one season, rumors spread that Stephon was unhappy that he didn't get as much attention as Garnett did. While time passing, Marbury made it clear to the media that he wanted to leave Minnesota after just 2 seasons. During the middle of the 98 season, the Timberwolves had to trade Marbury to the New Jersey Nets in order to get some peace. That left a bitter taste in Garnett's mouth, who tried to convince Marbury that he needed him.
The closest of friends and teammates as they entered their 20s, Kevin Garnett and Stephon Marbury approached their basketball middle age with little good to say about one another. The latest sniping occurred last month, and Marbury said his son's teammate, rookie Amari Stoudemire, was much better than Garnett at a similar age. Garnett responded that Marbury obsesses about him, quote, like a girl.
It ain't as complex as it seems. You know, I know we've been yapping in the papers and in the public and in the media, but you know, him and I, we have a history, and that's something that you can't ever take. You know, whether we decide to build off that or just totally, let it evaporate, then that's on us.
The split began in 1999. Marbury insisted on a trade from Minnesota to be closer to his friends and family in New York. Thinking they wouldn't be able to re-sign him, the Wolves traded Marbury to New Jersey, where he got paid, but ultimately got traded again to Phoenix.
My analogy for Kevin Stephon situation is Batman and Robin. They're a duo, but nobody says, I'll be Robin. Everybody wants to be Batman. Kevin was Batman, okay? Marbury didn't want to be Robin. He wanted to go be Batman on another team.
And, you sort of hear, from people from his camp and little things in between that to he couldn't play with you, the jealousy part or whatever. But until Steph says that to me, I'm going off of all history.
Marbury declined to speak about his time in Minnesota or his current relationship with Garnett. But Garnett acknowledges that the two rarely communicate with one another these days.
It's almost like something that's broke. When you get a hole in your windshield, if you don't fix it, it just gets bigger and bigger. And before you know it, your whole windshield is shattered.
When's the last time you talked to him?
Last time I talked to Steph, wow, it's been a minute. It's been a while. Last time I had some real numbers on him, it's been a while.
They'll get a chance to start talking this weekend in Atlanta. For the first time since the trade, Marbury and Garnett will be teammates on the Western Conference All-Star team.
After a while, man, see, this is what I played in my head, that if something was to happen to him, how'd I react? And I know I'd be hurt. You know what I mean? And that's true love. That's why I'm glad that this weekend's coming up, just from that standpoint alone.
At number 1, this shouldn't be a surprise, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. One of the greatest 1-2 punches in NBA history, it is hard to say that this duo wasn't successful after winning 3 championships together. But after breaking up with Shaq just being 31 and Kobe just being 25, it leaves a lot of room for what-if questions. Kobe Bryant probably can say it best.
There was so much conversation during the Shaq years. Were you guys friends?
No.
What was the problem? Why couldn't you coexist?
Well, I'm obsessive, and I believe we need to work night and day, figure out how to get to where we need to go. And he wanted to do it a different way. And so there was a constant challenge there to get that done. I mean, it was.
So this is our top 5 list. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe, share this video. We really appreciate it, and we're going to see you next time.